Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're going to dive into a pretty wild digital world where artificial life isn't just programmed. It actually learns, it adapts, and it fights to survive. And in the process, it creates things its designers never, ever expected. Just take a close look at this. You see these really intricate, almost perfectly structured patterns, right? It looks like two totally different species. You've got the cyan and purple, the blue and orange, and they've somehow figured out how to live together in this perfect, stable harmony. But here's the thing, no artist designed this. And what about this one? These incredible swirling spirals seem to be pulsing with energy, kind of like waves moving through some strange alien ocean. You'd swear you were looking at a complex chemical reaction, but you're not. This is all happening inside a computer.
So what you've just seen, it's not random and it wasn't explicitly programmed. It's the emergent behavior of competing AI agents. These are the patterns that show up when countless little digital creatures are all driven by one single, super simple goal: just stay alive.
Okay, so let's really get into this experiment from Sakana AI. What they've done is create what they're calling a digital Petri dish for a whole population of competing neural networks, and honestly, the results are just astonishing. Now, to really get why this is so cool, you first got to understand one of the biggest challenges in the entire field of artificial life. It's this concept they call open-endedness.
So here's the deal. The goal isn't just to make an AI that's, really good at one specific thing. The real challenge is to build a system that can genuinely surprise its creators. A system that comes up with new, complex, and unpredictable behaviors all on its own. One that just never stops inventing.
So how does this whole digital Petri dish actually work? What are the basic rules that lead to all this amazing complexity? Well, it's surprisingly simple, which is kind of what makes it so brilliant.
Okay, so picture this. The whole world is just a basic 2D grid. And on this grid live our little AI creatures. Technically, they're a model called a Neural Cellular Automaton, or NCA. Their only motivation in life is to maximize their aliveness, which just means taking over as many grid cells as possible. And to do that, each one has its own unique attack and defense signature. So you have to imagine this constant, tiny battle happening in every single cell, all the time. Each creature makes a move. Then the system calculates a strength score. Basically, how well does my attack line up against your defense? And whoever is stronger wins that cell, which boosts their aliveness score. Simple as that. But here is the secret sauce, the thing that makes this whole system so incredibly dynamic. These creatures are never done trainment. They are constantly learning and adapting in real time, making tiny adjustments based on what all their competitors are doing. The learning isn't a separate step. The learning is the simulation.
So you might be wondering, how on earth does this simple setup of competition and constant learning lead to those wild, complex patterns we saw at the beginning? Remember that first image we looked at? Well, in some of these simulations, instead of just an all-out war, some creatures figured out, hey, wait a minute, maybe pairing up is a better strategy. They actually learned to form these stable cooperative pairs, creating those beautiful, structured patterns. They learned symbiosis on their own.
And this table just gives you a taste of the bigger dynamics. It's like watching digital tribes rise and fall. One group might totally dominate, take over 80% of the board, but then another group adapts, finds a better strategy, and pushes them all the way back. You get these constant, oscillating cycles of conflict and balance. It's wild. And it wasn't just symbiosis, not by a long shot. The system cooked up all sorts of fascinating, lifelike stuff. You'd see these stable frontiers forming between groups, almost like borders between countries. You'd get those crazy chemical-like spiral waves. And, what's really cool, they found that the bigger they made the world, the bigger the grid, the richer and more complex the behaviors got. And believe it or not, this is really just the beginning. The incredible results from this digital Petri dish have paved the way for even bigger plans to evolve these digital ecosystems. So what's on the roadmap? Well, it's pretty wild. The plan is to create a hybrid system that mixes the super fast continuous learning with digital evolution. So you could have a creature split in two, and each part becomes its own independent lineage, totally free to evolve in a new direction. They even want to let the AIs discover new rules for the environment itself to make the world even more dynamic. So the big idea here, the why behind all this, is to get the best of both worlds. You get the super efficient fine-tuning power of learning, and you combine that with the raw, anything-can-happen exploratory power of evolution. It's about being able to both adapt quickly and discover truly brand new ways of living. Look, this work is opening up a whole new window into creating artificial life. It's a move away from just optimizing an AI for a task, and it's a move towards true open-ended creation, which leaves us with a pretty powerful question to think about. If these simple digital creatures can spontaneously learn to cooperate and build complex societies from scratch, what on earth might a more advanced version build next?